You know, what do you use on your dry bits?
I tend to use oils, but I do have some lotions that I like to use, sort of like, you know, your cocoa butter thing.
They keep you moist?
Yeah, they do. They keep me all the way together and make sure that I'm not drying to the point where it's starting to crack.
Yeah, no one wants that.
No one wants a dry crack.
I like a good butter. No one wants a dry crack. I'm Claira Hermit. This is In Bed with Claira. And joining me for this episode, I have an incredible, incredible guest. Host, speaker, professional dancer, the artistic genius behind Dosa Cat, the drag queen, Raheem Payne!
Ooh, lovely, good end to that. How are you?
That was a good intro, wasn't it?
It was a very good intro.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm
You
good
look
after
well.
that, thanks.
Cherries suit you.
You're just looking at my boobs there.
Yeah. Or fun bags, as I like to call them.
The fun bags.
The bags, oh fun.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much fun they actually are, though.
I don't really know, because that's not really my area of expertise, if I'm honest. Unless I'm breastfeeding.
Unless I'm breastfeeding.
But I don't do that now. I don't know. This is starting. Carry on.
Okay. The last time you were breastfeeding was. No, but they are bags. Well, I suppose they're not. They're bags of fun. These are bags of fun. Look, I can do that.
Yeah, you better do it. Have you ever done that when My Humps comes on?
I've got something stuck in my throat.
Oh, wouldn't be the first time.
No, I wouldn't. I've never done that when my humps comes on. My humps.
No, it's when she goes, I'm going to make you work, make you work, make you work. And that's when she does that.
Oh, does she do that?
Girl, where have you been?
I haven't seen the video.
That YouTube video's got a good old million views.
I've never seen. What? Does she shimmy?
No, she goes, it goes, obviously I can't do it, but she goes, I'm going to make you work, make you work,
What,
make
so she
you
can
work.
do that with her boobs?
Yeah, she does the tit with the tit, yeah.
I could copy it on the, and recreate it.
I think you should. Everyone will be like, oh my God, Claira's so down.
Yeah, with the video that came out like so many years
2000
ago,
however.
and I've only just found out about it.
But you could be the one to brings it back. It's like nostalgic, isn't it? And it's vintage, so.
Just bring back this, whatever that is. I do feel like I know you really well because I've seen you naked.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, you have. A lot of people have. A lot of people have.
A lot of people have seen you naked because
Because
you were on the TV show Naked Attraction.
I was on Naked Attraction, yes, as the picker, not one of those soulless, nameless bodies that was in.
Right, where the screen goes.
Yeah, and you're like,
their
no.
legs. Then you see them.
Yeah. No, I was the picker. Yeah, I was the personality behind it.
What made you decide to do that?
I was actually in therapy at the time, because. So go to therapy. No, I was in therapy at the time.
You'll end up on Naked Attraction.
Yeah, I was in therapy at the time because I hated men. Like,
Right.
I actually, like, you know how like a lot of people will say, oh, men are trash and I hate guys. I physically hated them to the point where I couldn't be near, like, I was a visual merchandiser for a company and I couldn't be near male staff. I couldn't be near male people that were asking me for help on shoes and stuff and whatever have you. And I used to just like pass them along and I was like, I can't live my life like this. I need to go and get myself sorted.
Yeah.
So I did that and I had a very, very successful therapy session and then I got the DM from one of the casting assistants. And I thought, okay, this is quite interesting in terms of its timing. So I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a go. So as a giggle, I decided to like have the call, have the conversation. I did. And after a very, very long and arduous interview process, I was on the show.
Bam.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the fact you were going to have to get everything out? Hang out with your wang out. and all
Well,
that?
as a dancer, I didn't really think of it because we do quick changes and stuff backstage all the time, and like people see everything that it is. So for me, I was just a bit like, yeah, it's fine. Like I've been naked on stage, so it didn't really bother me at all. So then, but when it came to it, I was a bit like, the last time I was naked on stage, I didn't have 17 cameras with 3 operators each, a bunch of studio lights on me, and everybody watching me, and I didn't really realize the repercussion of it, but when they put me in this gorgeous gown and it was really like soft and they know to tell you to always return it because I'm sure people steal it because it was very, very high quality. I decided, I was like, okay, do you know what? I'm just gonna take it off, and I did, and I was just like, yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, a body's a body and everybody has one, no matter what it looks like, no matter how it's presented, everyone has one. And I deemed it super, super important as well, being like a queer person of color especially, to have that body on presentation for representation. Do you know what I mean? And like, and for finally like a person of color to not be some joke and gimmick or anything like that, and actually just to have this real person in front of you.
I think that's one good thing that's good about that show is like the bodies all look different, right? And I think that where, especially, I don't know, I think British culture as well, we're like quite prude. And people are like, nudity.
Yeah, exactly.
And it causes a lot of problems, right? Because the only naked bodies you see are probably if you're watching porn and that's a certain aesthetic,
Right.
or, you know, if it's like on a TV show and it's someone in their underwear or a model in their underwear, and that's not even naked. So you don't see. And then people think like, oh, there's something wrong with my dick, or there's something wrong with my vulva,
Right.
because it. And actually, it's like, no, if you just saw an array of bodies, you'd see cellulite and you'd see fat and you'd see wibbly bits and wobbly bits and dangly bits and this and that. And I think people would feel much better.
Absolutely. And that's one of the main reasons why I did it. I was like, look, at the end of the day, everything's fine. It's just a body on screen. Like, I don't understand what the problem is.
One of the things that came up when you were on Naked Attraction, and you know it's coming.
I know it's coming.
Which
is why this is fun that we're here together.
Discuss the fact that you were a virgin. Are you still a virgin now?
I am, yeah.
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 And you're 30, so you're a 30-year-old virgin.
I am shy of the film, but yeah, I'm a 30-year-old virgin.
Yeah, which is 10 years shy of the film.
Yeah.
When you were like, okay, I'm going to go on the show, was that something that you were like, you wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Well, I suppose you had to, I guess, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I was adamant to speak about it, actually, because it shouldn't be like a thing that a person should be ashamed of. Like, a lot of people, especially in like the queer community and the LGBT plus community, like, sex is quite a big thing for a lot of us. And for me, it just never was a big thing. I think I sort of went through my life too determined in my studies and like in like my academic and like my professional career that I basically went through my 20s with blinders on until someone turned around and went, are you dating anyone? And I went, oh yeah, dating is a thing. So then I was like, oh, maybe I should start dating. But then because I couldn't see people correlating with my pathway, it just became something for me that I was like, oh no, I'm not into this. So I just sort of left it alone, and here I am at 30 now.
And for you, are you bothered about it? Like, not in terms of, oh, I'm bothered about it, but do you want to have sex?
Yes.
That was a very definite.
I do.
Yes.
No matter what, I don't know what camera I'm on and whichever one is looking at me right now, but I would like to have sex, yes. It's getting to a point now where, like, my cherry is ripe for picking. However, this cherry, thank you. Yeah, see what I did there? But this cherry is now starting to like ferment, and it's like a vineyard down there, and I'm about to start bottling and selling my own wine. So I really do need for it to like just be taken.
For somebody who hasn't had sex, like, you're so confident to talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't care. I think it's also because I'm a performer and a drag queen that like I'm very much just like. It's a very easy like subject for me to discuss. Like for me, I'm just like, yes, I would like to have sex, and yes, I would like to do very many things in very many weird positions and in different cities and in different times of the day, in different areas. I'm happy to do it. Like I'm just ready.
But now if you're ready, why haven't you done it? Like, what's the barrier? Is it because you just haven't found like the right person? And what would be the right person?
It's very much now dependent on someone's energy with me, because it's very easy for me to just find someone within like within a very close proximity and just go out and do it and just be like, thank you so much. But at the same time, it needs to, because I've waited this long, well, I mean, it seems like a long time, but for me, I guess it really isn't that long of a time now that I'm really thinking about it. But because I've waited, I can't just like do it.
Yeah.
It needs to be with someone that knows my full government name.
Yeah, okay.
That has potentially spoken to my mother because she's so nosy and she wants to be in my business all the time. So that she would need to have spoken to them. And like, it just gets to a stage where I'm like, do you know what? I just really, I just need it to be not right, but I need it to be right at the point. Right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want that. I mean, I know exactly what I want. I know I'm not going to get it, but I know exactly in my head how I want it to pan out.
Well, you might get it.
It's true.
You might get it.
Yeah,
There's no point saying you're not going to get it. But I think it's just like, it's like one of those things where, you know, I can't imagine, like, I lost my virginity when I was 15, just shy of 16, but that still doesn't make it legal. But, you know, I can't imagine, like, if I'd waited that long, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with doing that, I think that's absolutely fine, but then maybe my standards would be so high, and that maybe I wouldn't, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, there are certain individuals that I have met of my recent past where I thought maybe this is going to be it. This is it. Like, I'm really vibing with this person. It really happens. And now but then something always goes wrong. Yeah. I mean, we're not talking about my dating history here because that's like that's just a series for you and I think. Yeah. But but there has been a moment where it's always been wrong. But I feel like I'm giving out the signals now to like people so that when they do see me, it's a bit like, hi, and I'm like, yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah,
hello,
hi
hello.
there. Hi, yeah.
So are you dating anyone?
I actually went on a date yesterday.
How did it go?
It went really well.
10 out of 10. Watch this space.
It went really well.
Might be throwing the VPL8s out soon. But, I mean, it's not the only thing, is it, that goes into having, you know, a successful relationship or intimacy. It's not just about sex.
No, it's not. It's about, like, being able to connect with the person for me. It's about building that bond. It's about having that time and that energy for the person. It's about knowing them inside and out, with no pun intended. It's about just feeling each other within a space, you know? Yeah. Like, I want to be like somewhere and I just want that look, you know, that look.
Yeah.
So I just want to be like chilling, and then I just want to look over at him and him just be like, and I'm like, yeah. You don't even have to do anything. No eyebrow, no twitch. You can be paralyzed. But yeah, yeah, it could just be a thing where I'm just like, he could just like look at me dead in my eye and I'm like, I've got to go. So I'll see you soon. Yeah, for me, eye contact is a really big thing.
Typically, like when it comes to being a virgin, like being a virgin, I guess refers to intercourse.
Yes.
Does that mean, have you done nothing at all?
No, I have done things.
Okay.
But I just haven't had penetrative sex.
Okay, so you have explored a little bit.
Yeah, I guess in the words of a 90s film, I'm like a half virgin.
I'm half virgin.
Yeah.
I've got a few bases down.
Yeah.
Just not the full strike.
Which I'm very good at.
I'm mixing up all my sports. Sorry, what's that?
Check out my TripAdvisor.
So, at that point, I'm still in the interview and you're just having a conversation with a camera on your own.
I'm just letting everyone know.
Just advertising your skills. I'm really fucking good at sucking dick.
I am. I'll tell you for why. Not even for why, but I think it does come into it. So I used to wear braces, and they had an upper brace, like an upper wire,
Yeah.
right at the roof of my mouth. And apparently, according to my orthodontist, I have a high-rise tongue.
Oh.
Don't know what that means.
Don't know what it means.
But here it is. But that essentially has now, because I had that little, it was like a little horseshoe at the top of my mouth, it's created an imprint on my tongue.
Oh, wow.
Which
Can
means that I'm ribbed for everyone's pleasure. Yeah, I don't know if it's to hang away.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah.
So your tongue is ribbed for everyone's pleasure?
So my tongue is actually ribbed.
I mean, I think I'm pretty good as well. I'd give myself a strong 9 out of 10, because you can still learn.
Yeah, listen, there's always room for improvement.
And also, I suppose what someone likes, the next person might not like. So to someone, I might be a 10. To another person, it might be a 6.
Amen. But I don't see that for you. I don't see you as below average, Miss Thing.
Thanks.
Yeah. I see you setting the bar.
Setting the bar.
Alien superstar.
I feel like you're like watching my mouth and just, you know, checking it out right now. Like, yeah,
whip.
She's
Amen.
got what she needs. I think that being a virgin as a female is kind of seen as virtuous due to purity culture and the patriarchy as well. But then for men, being a virgin is almost seen as being like undesirable. How is virginity perceived in the LGBTQ plus community, from your experience?
Yeah, from my experience and the gentleman callers who have called upon me, I mean, I still think I am a bit like gold dust.
Yeah, do they see it as like a challenge? Like do you tell them? Do they know?
Right, so what I tend to do is because I'm an incredibly good flirt.
Right.
Because I've had a lot of years of practice. So like, because I'm an incredibly good flirt and I dance very well, a lot of people think that like immediately they kind of see what's on offer, if you will.
Yeah.
As soon as I'm
Don't see the ribbed tongue yet.
No. But until they like sort of get to know me and then they go, okay, yeah, so when are we doing this? Like, and I go, well, I have to take it a bit slowly. And they go, why? And I go, it's not that I'm not ready. It's just that I'm a virgin. And they always go, no, you're not. No one ever believes me, right?
You get out your card then and prove it to them.
I go, I don't know how, I don't know, I put white bed sheets underneath me all the time and just like let them see. But yeah, for like, so then they don't believe me. But I feel like they do see it as a thing where they're like, I want to take this. Like, I think it's ownership. I think for men, especially, it's a massive ego boost to like say that they were somebody's first. Do you know what I mean? And for me to like, and I know exactly what to say to them in order for them to be like, I need this like now. Like,
what do you say to them?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you can't let the secrets
out.
Well,
okay, basically, it's got to a point. This is gonna make me look dreadful. It's got to a point where I was literally at my eldest brother's apartment, and we were playing a video game. I don't know. we were playing Call of Duty, okay?
You can say that,
Yeah,
COD.
okay, cool. I was playing COD, and I was getting really, really into it to the point where this guy then was like trying to like start sexting me. But I was like really in this mission, like severely in it. Like I get very aggressive when I play these games. So I'm like doing all of this now, and I'm like really, really like going for it. And he's like, pring, pring. Like I'm like, oh, for the love of God. So then I quickly, and he's like, my brother's like, what are you doing? We've got to like, and I'm like, wait. So I'm doing it. I'm not even looking at my phone at this point, right? But I know exactly what to say to this guy just to get him there. And I'm literally just doing this.
So you were sexting him without even thinking about it?
Yeah. I think it helps as well, like having an English degree and having a really good grasp of language.
You're just like, oh, I can make this sound really poetic
Yeah.
and sexy.
But yeah, so like I know how to, I've made a lot of guys like finish just with words. I don't even say anything.
What are you saying? Come
Just
on.
with words.
Share the words.
Yeah,
What-
yeah, yeah.
What words are you saying?
So what you do is, okay, right, let's sit up for this one.
Let's sit up for this one.
Yeah, cameraman, zoom in. What you need to do is, okay, is that you need to treat your body and their body like a map.
Right.
Okay, so this is what I do.
Yeah.
So what I do is I let them know that, because as a dancer it helps as well, right? So as a dancer, you got to show the movement, okay? So then what I say to them is, so I go, baby, just sit down. Just don't even worry about it. Let me take you. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, shush, don't say anything. So you got to have that little bit of shut your mouth.
Yeah.
I go, just sit down.
This is all sexting, though.
Yeah. So I go, sit down. And I go, you're sitting, and I'm just there in front of you. Your legs are open, but we're not going to do anything just yet. I said, let me give you a bit of a show first. So I tell them about the show I give them. And then I say, okay. And I go, and now just imagine me starting from your forehead and just breathing down your face. As I get to your eyes, as I get to your nose.
Sounds like a meditation at
As
this
I get
point.
to, yeah, and I do the whole thing. Then I take my hands and I go, and I'll take my hands and I'll like trace your outline. And go down, and I go, oh, your chest. And I go, you've been working on this chest. And he's like, don't stop. And I'm like, cool. So then I go, yeah, I'm on your chest.
You're teasing him.
Nipple play, the whole thing. Yeah. You get them there, yeah? You get them there. Then you go, and they might not even have abs or anything like that, but just using the word abs just gets them excited as well. For me, I'm not bothered about body shape and everything like that. As long as a man holds himself with confidence and strong, this is me, I'm like, yeah, do whatever the hell you need to do. So then I go, yeah, go down. So you start acting very dominant and you get there and then you ask them questions, okay? That's the key. Always get a question in the middle of the paragraph.
What's the question?
This is where I'm coming to. So you come down now and I'm like, I'm on your abs. And I go, wait, what's this? I said, where am I going now?
So you get them to tell you.
Yeah. So you say, where am I going now? And he goes, well, what can you see? And I go, baby, you tell me what I can see. And then he'll go, yeah, like, so my boxers. I go, what, do you wear boxers? He goes, yeah. And I go, okay. I said, let me work on these boxers then for a little bit. So I do this whole thing, and I'm texting in this, and I feel very Sarah Jessica Parker about the whole thing. And yeah. So I do this whole thing, and I go, and then I tell him I take it out, and I go, now that I've done my bit, what happens next? So then you get him involved.
Right, okay.
Right. Then you get him there, you do the whole shenanigan. I tell him that I'm out here, and I always tell them, I go, I'm flexible. And I go, so where are you putting my left leg? So you tell them all of that, and you dictate the whole thing.
Picturing it all in their head.
Yeah. So you got to plan it out for them. You got to dictate the whole thing, and you got to tell everyone what's going on. And I've honestly, without even voice notes, videos, or anything, I can get a guy there, not a problem.
It just sounds like an art form that you've perfected.
I'm really, really good at it. I'm thinking of holding classes.
Yeah, I think you should hold classes.
I'm very good at it.
I'd be there.
I'm very.
I mean, we've got Patrice behind the camera. She's there.
Patrice, baby, I got you.
I mean, for a bit there. I mean, I was getting turned on then. I didn't know what was happening.
That's what
I
it
didn't know
is.
where I was. You almost had me there.
Yeah, you better put portrait lock on that boy, because that's twisting and turning. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm very good at what I do.
Well, clearly you are.
My oral skills are very good.
Okay. And I believe you. I definitely believe you after that. And then obviously then you can talk about that as well. I guess you can be graphic about that.
You do all the graphic stuff. Yeah. You get them excited. You do what you need to do, and then you go. Also, I don't know how you are about this, but with men, I feel like they never ever want to pull out. So if I say to them, and I go, yeah, baby, don't pull out. How many times I've told men that I want to be pregnant? How am I saying this all on camera? I've told guys, I'm just like, yeah. I told a man the other day I was so fertile and ready for him to give me children. I don't know where that came from, because I don't know if you know this, but that's that's impossible for me to be with child. But because I was saying that to him, he was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, you want these babies? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to carry your twins. I said the whole thing, and he was very much into it. Telling me he loves me on the phone. I was like, okay, that's good.
Do you not sex people? Do you have sex conversations?
Oh yeah, so I've had phone sex plenty of times. I've done sexting. I've sent cheese videos. I've done the whole thing.
I can do sexting, but I don't know if I could do phone sex because I don't know if I can be that serious about it.
Well, there are moments where I've like, you know, when sometimes you just like, I just need someone to get me there, and then I just want them to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had moments like that on the phone, but because he hasn't finished, I'll be there like going
hanging around.
Yeah, but then you're just making. Because I know you, Miss Thing, and I know all about the gap and everything like that, and I know about, you know...
The orgasm gap?
Females...
What are you talking about? I thought you were talking about my gap. I was like, I know you, Miss Thing, I know all about your gap.
Yeah. About the orgasm gap and all that shenanigan and about faking it, and I always like listen to that and I go, yeah, because I've done that.
You faked it?
Baby, I've been on the phone and I've just been, moaning, panting.
You're a virgin and you faked it.
Yeah, I've just been moaning and panting and doing the whole shenanigan just to get them there. So yeah, I know.
You know what it's like.
Yeah,
the acting.
I know what it's like. Yeah.
The acting skills.
The theatre degree.
I've enjoyed that, but movies like 40-Year-Old Virgin add stigma to being a virgin at an older age. Have you ever felt judged when you tell people?
Yes. Yes. I feel like a lot of people put me on this like unnecessary pedestal, but then I look like then it's like, oh, then I can't be touched. Do you know what I mean? Because then they're like, oh, you're gonna fall in love with me, and you're gonna be like this, and you're gonna be obsessed with me, and you're gonna be like this, that, and the other, and rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, I'm really not.
Mate, wait till you see my sexting skills.
I'm like, baby, just give it to me and give it to me now, and then we're done.
I got this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, yeah, so a lot of people will put you on like a pedestal about it.
Or by the sounds of it, make an assumption that you're going to be like emotionally unbalanced or unhinged.
Yeah, because I've got like issues or whatever because I'm a virgin and stuff like that. But I'm really not the one. No.
Why haven't you? If you've like done other stuff with people, you know, you've talked about, you know, giving head or whatever, what stops you from taking that step with those people?
Because it never gets there, relationship-wise, it doesn't ever get there.
So you want to be in a relationship?
I'd like to be seeing someone exclusively in order to have sex with them, yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's probably where I've got to after, how old am I now? I don't know, I'm 39, so I lost my virginity when I was 15. It probably took me about 20 years to get to that point. 20 years of having sex.
Absolutely.
You've had 30 years of not having sex.
Absolutely.
And we were at the same point.
Yeah, no, we are.
Here we are.
But I think that's what I want. I need it to be mutually exclusive for me.
What would you say to other people watching this who are still virgins that might feel ashamed?
Don't be. Do not be ashamed. Be absolutely true to who you are and live your most authentic self, because I think that's the most important thing. It's not an embarrassing thing to be a virgin, to have not had sex, or to only have gone to a certain base, or to do this and do that. Sex is something that you need to do when you're ready and when you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable in the situation, you shouldn't be doing anything, period. So like for me, if I'm not feeling that give back in energy, and if I don't feel like you're reciprocating the same natures towards me, then it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Because sex isn't just an exchange of bodies, an exchange of that, it's an exchange of energy, it's an exchange of emotion, it's an exchange in general. And if that person is not reciprocating the same thing, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. So if you're still a virgin, no matter what age you are, no matter what status you are, no matter what community you belong to, absolutely embrace it.
Like certainly when I was at school, there's this kind of idea that virginity is like deemed as bad and you need to kind of get rid of it as soon as possible. So I think that definitely contributes to a lot of people like losing their virginity, probably when they wouldn't necessarily want to, or like it's not necessarily the right time. And also I guess it's like, because I think especially in this country, we don't like to talk about sex. So then people want to go and do it more. Like I feel like if we spoke about it more, there was more education, the conversation was more open, and we could talk about sex like however we wanted, then people wouldn't be so like, I don't think people would want to have sex as much, to be fair.
No, absolutely.
Or as early, should I say. Do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I think that definitely contributes to it.
But I think it also depends on the communities you're a part of. I think even within like, so also coming from like a mixed heritage background and coming from like a South Asian standpoint, and if we look at it through like that cultural lens, if you weren't a virgin, then everyone's going to be looking at you different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like people will be looking at you thinking, what, you're not a virgin and you're not even with someone or blah, 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 or all this business.
There's a lot of shame attached to it.
And even if you were with a partner and with a boyfriend and stuff like that and people knew you were having sex, everyone would be like, well, she's about to enter something else and she's not even together or whatever, or all that business, because it is, I mean, it's still very patriarchal there, isn't it? But that's just a whole different thing.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, and I do think that it is, I suppose it is in general societies are patriarchal, aren't they, I guess, across the world. And then there's different, I guess, extremes, and there's different beliefs, and there's different parts of, like you say, that culture play. But it's also, I guess it's that same kind of thing like you're talking about then. It's like if a woman has lost her virginity, she's not pure, or her value is tied somehow to her virginity, and I just think that it's like a really sad state of affairs. Yeah,
it's just nonsensical. I mean, there's tales, aren't there, in like when like a dowry was a thing, and when you were like almost, you know, paying for things and stuff like that. That's where the whole white bed sheet comes from. Because if you were to be wedded to a child or wedded to a person, you know, I mean, yeah, like, you know, I think you talk about ages that people get married and stuff like that. I mean, you've got like child brides, you've got this, that, and the other, you've got all of that. And if they weren't virgins and there wasn't the spots of blood on a sheet, then all shit's about to break home.
That's crazy, because your hymen can be broken in so many different ways anyway.
Yeah, like riding a horse.
Exactly, riding a bike, tampons, like literally anything could do it.
But that's what I mean, but to them that wasn't a thing, because then I think that's where what I said earlier, it's about ownership. It's about having that knowledge that I did that, that's mine now. Do you know what I mean? Like even in dirty talk, when you're like, whose is it, like all this business, it is still that mentality of, well, baby, I did that and now it's mine and no one can say anything to it and rah, rah, rah. So, yeah.
I guess it's that power playing out. But I think, you know, that when it comes to that, I guess, like being dominating or being submissive, that, you know, that I think if that's consensual and people agree to it, you know, that could work like whatever way round, or like, you know, in any like relationship, it just depends what you enjoy. But as long as I guess it comes from like a place of enjoyment, as opposed to like, if that's genuinely what you believe in your life, then that's a bit different to it's just like, no, this is something that I like role play, you know, like I've done role play before. I wasn't the masseuse. My ex-boyfriend was the masseuse, and I was the recipient of the massage. But, you know, I mean, I don't think he's walking around thinking he's a masseuse just because, you know, we did that.
Right.
And, you know, I think it's, so I do think that's that's like pleasurable for some people, and I don't think that there should be any shame attached to that. But I think it's like, if your belief system is that, you know, someone's value is tied to their virginity, then that's an issue.
Absolutely, I hear that.
What's one thing that you wish that everyone knew about sex?
What's one thing I wish that everybody knew about sex? Is that it's not the be all and end all. Just, it's not. It is a pretty big deal, but it's also not that big of a deal. So, like, get over it.
Get over it.
Get over it, get under it, get in it.
Do it if you like doing it.
Pull out.
If you don't like doing it.
Yeah, it's really not that deep. Also, wash yourself.
Hygiene is key.
Yeah.
The question is, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in bed? It doesn't have to be sexual, or it could be an experience that wasn't actual sex.
I feel like this question always involves some sort of fecal matter, but for me, that's not the one. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me in bed?
I've already had one about fecal matter.
That's what I mean. That and wet in the bed and all that, that's not embarrassing. We all did it. The most embarrassing thing that happened to me in bed, there's two. Okay, now I'll tell you one. I was in bed. No, I can. I was in bed. It's not really embarrassing. It's just a bit weird.
Yeah.
I was in bed. I was seeing someone at the time, and I remember being in bed with one another, and apparently during the night. No, I'm not one to be sleep talking, snoring, anything like that, moving around. I'm usually quite a static sleeper. Yeah, but you laugh and joke, but I sleep on my back and I wake up on my back. Yeah, that was the other weird thing. There was one time I woke up like this. Yeah, very that. Anyway, so yeah, and I remember, and apparently during the middle of the night, I absolutely kicked him in his, in the bollocks. Like in the middle of the night, and this piercing scream happens, and I was like, oh my God, I said, what's happened? And he couldn't speak, and I was like, oh no, what have I said, what's wrong? And I got up in this state of panic, and he was like, you just kicked me in the balls.
Kicked with your foot or your knee?
No, with my like heel or something. I don't know what I did. I think I must have been lying down. Wait, hang on. I must have
Just try and kick me in the bollocks.
I must have been lying down like so, or whatever it was.
And he was laying like that.
Yeah.
He must have been spooning
Right,
you.
and I must have just gone like, my foot
then-
must have been like up here or something, and I must have just gone bang like that. Just like in the middle of the night. Yeah, I'm
Got
so
the heel
sorry.
right in the ball bag.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. It's happened.
I kicked my dad in the balls once when I was a kid. He didn't like me very much after that, just because we were playing around and my brother was on his back and he was on all fours.
Yeah.
And I just walked up behind him and
bang.
went, BAM!
Yeah.
And then
Amen.
that's the only time I've ever seen my dad get angry with me. And he really did get angry. I thought that might be the day that I died. But luckily, I'm still here to tell
But
the
she's
tale.
still here, sweetie.
What's the worst sexual experience that you've had?
Poor hygiene. So like, I went down on someone once and I couldn't because I was like, but then how do you tell someone that they've got, so I had to. So I did the whole thing, unbuttoned, zip, and then it hit me. Before it hit me.
No, but you could have said.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. And I said, I'm so sorry, but there's absolutely no way that this is happening. And he was like, babe. And I was like, no, you need to wash yourself. And I just walked away. Listen, hygiene is very important. I don't understand why people don't wash. I'm all for Musk, yeah? Not Elon, but I'm talking about Musk. I'm all for like a good amount, like I like a pheromonic smell. So that's a word now, pheromonic. I like that. I like a good smell because that sweat, that musk, I'm obsessed with. But when it's musty, you need to go home and journal about it. Go home, open up a book and say, Dear Diary, I need to wash up my bollock then.
And you do, because it's hitting me around the face right now, just the thought of it.
Oh, God, it was awful. Like, oh, no. It's just like, do you not smell yourself? When you take it out and do bathroom business.
Oh, it's horrible. It's a horrible thought.
And you can't even say your friends, mate, you need to go and wash yourself. You know who you are. Because I know you still watch me on Instagram. So go and wash your... Oh, sorry. Go and wash yourself.
Go and wash yourself,
Go and wash
sir.
yourself.
I just think, you know, it's one of those things where just personal hygiene is everything, you know. Just do it. Have a good wash first. And if you haven't, maybe just say, not tonight, sir. I'm going to go and have a wash.
Yeah.
Before we do this.
Yeah.
What's your best advice to anyone to be good in bed?
If you are taking, you should also give. So if you're receiving, you should also give. Don't be selfish. Be a compassionate lover. Make sure that the other person is getting off just as much as you're getting off. Because, and I know you see me for this because we're both Cancerians, and much like you, my partner's pleasure is my pleasure. And I'm really into it. When I know I'm doing a good job, I'm like, yeah, this is gorgeous. And in my head, immediately, I'm just thinking, because I know I'm going to get the good, right?
In exchange?
Right. One time now, I must have given the everything, yeah? You might as well have been New Year's, baby, fireworks everywhere, Katy Perry in the background, it was lovely. All of a sudden, out of bed, leaps out, then I'm just laying there and I'm like, okay. And I'm not really into like the whole sex toy shenanigan because I've not really explored that. So then I started to explore. Don't ask me if you should help me, do it. Take initiative. That's another thing. As a lover, take initiative. Don't say, oh, do you... No. It's not a question. It's an action. Do you know what I mean? So take initiative.
What in that sense, because obviously you've got to get someone's consent. You don't want to be doing anything without their consent. But what, what you're saying is, essentially, I've just made you come and given you the good.
Right.
And now you're just saying, oh, do you want me to help you or
right
like that?
Because I feel like the act that you're already in should be consensual, obviously. So I feel like the consent has already been given. If I've just done everything, Glockmaster 3000, and I've just been, the whole shenanigan, the fondling, the whole, don't even bother asking me a question. Just go ahead and go, your turn, boom, and then just do it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's when, if, for example, like with head, I think for me, I generally check with guys because there was like this stage where, you know, for a lot of guys, it's like, no, I didn't give head. So I'd be like, right, okay, well, I'm just going to ask people before I even go there with them. Because if they're not willing to do that, I don't want to be in that situation. And some guys would be like, well, it's fine, I won't give you head, you don't need to give me head. And I'd be like, no, but that's not the point.
Right.
Because it just feels like there's limits on what we can and can't do. And also, like, it's about pleasure, and I want to be able to, like, please somebody, and I would like to be pleasured back.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's, you know, if you don't do that, I'm not interested.
Then don't ask for it either. Don't be stupid, idiot boys.
If you're giving it, then I want to receive it.
Right, thank you.
If you're giving it, I want to receive it.
Amen.
Amen to
Tell
that.
them.
Are you confident naked?
Well, yeah, I guess I am.
I mean, we know we've seen you on the TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that, you know, some people go on there that not necessarily confident naked.
I was nervous about how I would look. I was nervous about if people would look at me and think, oh, he's a bit lumpy bumpy. But no, I felt good. You've seen me naked.
I've seen you naked.
I was
you look
confident,
great,
wasn't I?
You were very confident.
Lovely.
You were very confident indeed. I wanted you to burst into some contemporary dance, and
I was ready to give him a little 1-2 step.
Have you always been confident with your body?
Kind of. I don't think I've ever been shy about my physique, but like, I know I always wanted to be thicker because I was quite skinny. And then when I started to when I was at like university and stuff like that, and like seeing the types of people that my friends were attracting, like my straight friends were attracting, and having this sort of idea, this sort of like warped idea and this warped mentality of like, well, that's how people see me as like, say, like a female counterpart. Therefore, I need to be more feminine in my physique, or I need to have like bigger hips or like a bigger bum and things like that. But then obviously genetically, I just didn't have that. I think at that point I was a bit like, I don't know. But now recently, yeah. Like recently I feel like very together, especially when I'm in drag as well, because I don't cinch, I don't pad, I don't do anything. I use my natural physique. So, and baby, I look good. So like, I'm very, very happy with how I look right now, because I'm also working a lot on myself. And like, I've noticed differences and I've noticed like changes and stuff. And I just want to be like slim, thick. Like I want to be thickums.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look good.
And I'm feeling gorgeous.
And that's what we like. What's your best advice to other people to be confident naked? Like what would you say to them?
You have a body, own it. If there's things that you want to change. It's absolutely fine. Like, I feel like people get really nervous about like body modification and stuff like that, and they feel a certain type of way. Baby, if you need to do it because it's not for you, or like something about you needs to get changed, then change it. Do you know what I mean? Because there's only one person that's in control of your body, and it's you. No matter what people are saying around you and dictating to you, it's your physique and it's your body, and wherever you have to go in order to get comfortable, get there.
Do you think people do get comfortable? I mean, the only thing I can say is before, because I've had a double mastectomy, but before that I'd had a boob job, and I had a boob job when I was 20, and I really thought it was going to change my life. It was going to make me so much more confident, and it was going to be like this big, really big deal. And I think it just made me feel worse.
But I feel like that even comes with like just going to the gym. Like that, people are never ever going to be happy with their physique, are they? Because they're always going to find something. They're always going to see something. They're going to be like, oh, that muscle's looking a bit smaller than its like, equilibrium here, or this, that, and the other. So like, I feel like we're always going to be at that stage where we're always trying to change. But I guess it's about really thinking about it and like making sure that what you're doing is right for you. So maybe that's the answer. Talk with yourself.
Because I think as well, it's about talk with yourself, definitely, like have that introspective conversation. But I think it's like, if you can accept your body as it is and you still want to change something, then I think that's fine, because you're always going to accept your body, like no matter how it looks, right?
Yeah.
But then I think if you don't have that acceptance and you're thinking that doing this thing is going to give you more like love for your body or more acceptance for your body, it might not work like that, because it's actually an inside job rather than an outside job. Like that's my thing. And I just think like that just getting comfortable with your body exactly as it is right now, and being like, it's my best friend. Like, it's the thing that allows me to do everything I want to do.
Yeah. And it's the one that's always going to be there.
It's always there. And it doesn't matter if it's like, you've got wings, or you've got stretch marks, or you've got any of that stuff. It's just, you get to live in it. It's like your home.
Yeah.
And, I just think that we don't look at it like that. We're always trying to change our bodies, and we're so horrible to them sometimes, the things we say to them and we say about them. And now, like, it's so funny because I look in the mirror, I don't know what I was thinking the other day. I was like, oh, I just like my waist to be a bit smaller. And as soon as anything like that happens, I catch myself straight away and I'm like, no, we don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want to be like that to my body anymore. I just want to be nice to her.
No, I hear you. Because, like, I look at myself and I go, okay, like, where are you going with this? Because, like, I think also for me, like, as a dancer as well, and being in a community as a dancer, but also being in, like, a queer community and stuff where everybody is basically just naked all the time, and at an event, people are just going to have their tops off and stuff like that. I think before, when I really got into that scene, I was a bit like, oh God, I need to, like, change myself and stuff like that. But I was like, but they're all doing that in order to get attention, whereas I can walk around clothed and be very, very eventful. Like, I can get attention without doing all of this. Do you know what I mean?
Naked.
Yeah, and I don't need to do that. So I think when I said that to myself, and I just said, like, Raheem, you need to just own who you are and own the body that you're in. And if you want to change it, go and do what you need to do. But for right now, do you know what? You're not in a bad place. Do you know what I mean? For, like, who I am, what I'm doing, how old I am, and all this business. I'm like, yeah, it's good. So, yeah, no, I definitely hear you. If
someone does want to get you into bed, which we know there's probably quite a few people that do, what would be your green flags?
Someone that's intelligent, someone that's funny, and somebody that is well-versed in what they're doing.
I mean, it sounds like me.
It's basically you.
Just in the wrong body for you.
But, like, for me, yeah, I think
otherwise we could have been the perfect match.
We would have been a great match.
Two Cancerians together, is that good?
I feel like that is a good thing because we'll get each other, but when the emotions hit, they'll hit hard.
Oh, it'll be disastrous.
We'll be crying the whole time.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, but yeah, those are the few things, and they just have to have, like, a confidence. Like, if you come to me,
I need a brother who moves confident.
What song's that? Oh, you're talking about Move Confident. No, that one. Yeah.
Sorry, this is my terrible singing. I've got no clue what she's trying to say.
Yeah. That's a good song. But yeah, that's what I want. I just want a brother who moves confident. I just want someone to, like, come over to me and go, so, what's your name? Yeah, no, you're right. I like to, because I'm such I think especially in the scene, like, when I'm performing and stuff, even when I'm in drag or even when I'm out of drag and people know who I am, like, people come to me with the idea of, like, Dosa in their heads, but they can't do that when I'm, like, Raheem, right? So, like, I think for me, I need a guy to, like, come over and kind of just...
Step up.
Yeah, and just sort of be like, so, what's really going on? Like, when guys do things like that to me, I'm a bit like, I want a guy to make me giggle. If you can make me giggle, and if you can make me feel a bit like, oh, 3 little maids from school are we? Yeah, filled to the brim with girlish glee. Yeah, then I know you're the right one for me.
That's the way to go. And what would you say are your red flags? Like, what are your turn-offs?
Bad smell.
We know. I was just about to say that.
Smell, like, and that comes from just anything, really. I don't mind smokers and stuff like that, but if you smell like stale cigarettes, it's not working for me. And if you're going to come and talk to me and expect a part of you inside of me, then chew gum or have a smint before you come over to me.
The least you can do.
Right.
Get a smint.
God, smint it up. Poor hygiene. Bad shoes.
Yeah, terrible. Bad shoes can give me the ick.
Yeah, or if your shoes are rank, or if they just don't match your outfit, it really aggravates me.
Yeah, if they just not the right shoes, or they're just really...
Because I don't mind a bit of roughness, but if you're a bit unkempt and it looks a bit dirty...
It's the wrong type of shoe for the wrong outfit, or it's just a weird shoe.
It's important. You should always start your outfit shoe up.
Weird shoe. And the other thing is any kind of dirty
dirt in the fingernails, yeah.
Can't like that.
Also, if you're going to come to me after you've had a few drinks, don't be a messy drunk. Because that happens to me a lot. Like, guys will be like, and I'll be like, no. If you need subtitles, then it's not going to work. Yeah, those are just, I think, a few off the top of my head. And if you're too arrogant, I like a cocky man, but if you're too arrogant, then it's a bit much. What else gives me ick? That's about it. As in just approach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main ones, I think.
What is your favourite form of intimacy that isn't sex?
Holding.
Holding.
Yeah. Words of affirmation are also really, really, really big for me. And eye contact. Eye contact is a major thing for me. Like if someone's just, yeah, no, I can tell. And I can't actually look at you for too long.
Making you giggly.
You're too much, you know. No, but yeah, so I think like eye contact and stuff like that, and just like feeling your presence, like that's really important. So yeah, those are my few things.
All of those things.
All of the above, basically.
All of those are intimacy. Do you want to have a little hug now?
We can have a
I
hug.
mean, we've finished now. Did you enjoy it?
I thoroughly enjoyed. Did you enjoy it?
I've really enjoyed it.
I'm full of enjoyment.
I know. I've learnt so much in this.
Yeah,
I'm now going to be an expert sexter.
Listen, let me give you. I'll send you some drafts and some themes.
That would be so cool.
It'll be like Mad Libs. Let me just send you a few things.
You can try out your new workshop on me. Your sexting workshop. See how I got. The thing is, I'm going to be honest. I don't have anyone to sext at the moment. I've got no one.
Nah, you do. No, there's no way.
I swear on my life.
A little
I haven't had
PYT
sex
like
for
you.
ages.
Absolutely, there's going to be
My
someone
life is
around.
boring. There's no one talking to me. I give up.
I'll give
anyway,
you one of mine if
you
you
can
like.
still teach me. What? One of your what?
One of my girls.
One of your boys. All right. Yeah, I'm going to sleep now.
Have you had a drink before you go to bed? Don't be waking me up in the middle of the night.
Well, don't be kicking me in the balls.
Well, don't have any. How about that?
Pretty good job I haven't.
Well, then you'll be all right. See, this is me on my back already. I can't. This is really. It's very comfortable. This is how I'm not even joking, but this is actually how I sleep. I do this.
Okay, sorry. Do you like it when people keep talking when you're trying to go to sleep?
I find it quite entertaining.
Do you?
Yeah, I find it quite funny.
Who has supposed to have the last word?
I don't know, but that's the fun in it. It's like, you remember in assembly when he used to be like, who has the last clap?
Sorry, my laugh's atrocious.
I enjoy it. I know, it's fun. It's like being in bed again with my uncle.